Hello beautiful viewers, welcome back to the page once again. We are working on this school management project. As I said in the introductory video, I'm going to show you how to use programming language to design this beautiful school management system. So by the end of this course, you'll be able to design a similar or even better school management system using PHP, CSS, HTML, JavaScript, and so on and so forth. Okay, so this is the dashboard for admin. If you log in, so let me log out. This is the logout screen. Sorry, this is the login screen. So if I log in as an admin, this will be my dashboard, and for my dashboard I will know the number of students in the school, total number of teachers we have, the subjects that we are running, and the timetable. Okay, so if I click on manage students, this will be the form that we can use to register new students, and beneath the form you get the total number of students being populated for you, and we can even filter them out. So we can filter by class. So we have primary 1, then first let's say academic year. If I go to filter, then if you come down, you only get the total number of students under that particular class, and if you want to print it, you can print it. Okay, so everything is quite responsive and very nice to use. Okay, so the aim is to design something like this, similar like this. I'm going to teach you the code behind everything that you see. So this is the menu that you can also use. It's the same thing, you can register a user. Okay, as an administrator you have the privilege, so you can see your student form over here. You have teachers form too. You have the subjects that the school is running, promotion, and so on and so forth. Okay, so as an administrator, this is the dashboard for you. So if I log out and let's say go to a teacher, this is the teacher dashboard. Okay, you to have your menu over here, the subject that you assign to for the purpose of academic records, not the subject that you teach, but the subject that you will be responsible for entering your students' scores in. That's the subject. Okay, then we have enter results. So you have the class and exam scores entering form here. Then you have your comments, so you have to give a comment on the report for students. You can print report card and so on and so forth. Okay, so as a teacher you can do a whole lot of, you can mark attendance for your students. So let's log out and go to accountant. So as an accountant, this is your dashboard. You see the money that has been collected as fees, outstanding balance to be collected, and the total amount that you are expecting for the term. Okay, so as an accountant, this is your menu. You can do a whole lot of stuff. You can record fee payment by students. You can see fee summary. Okay, so if I come to primary 1, first academic year 25 filter, this will be the student fee summary. So you have the fee structure. The form is used for the fees that will be paid by students for a particular academic year. Okay, or term. You have feeding payment. So feeding to, if I select, you see the student, the amount that need to be paid by the student. So everything is very functional, very functional. Okay, so basically this is what we are going to learn to do, and we've already started doing it. We've created some files. I've shown you how to create a file using PHP, how to connect your database, and how to also create a database in PHP-admin. I've shown you. If you have not watched the video, go back to the page and look for those videos and watch them. Okay, so we have all these in place. So this is the database that we are working on, the Test Academy. Okay, in the other video I show you how to create it. Now we have so today we're going to begin with the header. Okay, so if you take the original or the prototype, this is the header. The header has a title and it gets a menu. Okay, so if you click on the menu, this is what we're going to see. So this is the header, and we need to start with it. So today what we're going to do is to begin designing this header. Okay, this is the header I'm talking about. The header gets a title, which is the new academy, then a menu. So today what we're going to do is to create the header file using PHP. Okay, so what we have to do, as I said in the other video, we need to do everything in the directory folder. So we go to local disk, we open it, then we look for XAMPP, we click on that, then inside XAMPP we look for htdocs, as we see over here, double click on that, then we locate our directory folder. So in the other video we created this directory folder, which is the Test Academy. Double click on that, and if we double click, we created a folder. Okay, so inside this folder you're going to have some kind of files. So you just double click in that folder, and one of the files that we've created is the db.php, which connect to our database, and I've shown you how to do that in the previous video. So what I'm going to do here, you're going to create another file, okay, which is going to be our header. So I'll just double click inside our folder, go to new, and go to test documents. Click on that, then you have this. So the name will be header. Okay, header. Then the file extension is going to be PHP. Don't forget that file extension is going to be PHP. If you click anywhere, to give you this warning sign. If you change the file name extension, the file might become unusable. Don't worry, click on yes. Now your PHP file has been created for you. So to start coding inside, what you have to do is what we are going to do here is to okay, so now that we've created, we have to start the coding. So what we have to do is to right click on that, then we edit with Notepad++. Okay, as a test editor, so you open with the test editor that you are using, but I recommend to use Notepad++. Okay, so if you right click on the folder that we created, which is the header.php, if you right click on that, then you go to edit with Notepad++, you click on that. So from this section we're going to start writing our code. Okay, so from here we're going to writing our code. Now this file is going to made up of PHP. Okay, so what we're going to do here, is to start typing our code. So as I said, This file is going to be made up of HTML, PHP, CSS, JavaScript, and other programming language. Okay, so by the end of this tutorial, or by the end of this tutorial, or by the end of this video, you'll be able to understand how to write some programming language, understand other programming language that you need for this project. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to begin with is the HTML, and the HTML stands for, so HTML stands for hypertext markup language. Okay, hypertext markup language. So PHP stands for, HTML stands for hypertext markup language. It's a standard language for writing web pages. Okay, so let me show you all these content that you see over here. They are made up of HTML. Okay, what you see over here, or if you visit this, let's say this website, let me show you, let's say facebook.com. Let me show you a website, like Bank of Ghana. Let's say Bank of Ghana. Okay, so let me see Bank of Ghana. This is their website address. Let me click on that and show you something. I just want to show you something. My network is very slow. Bad. Pardon. Yes. So this is the. Let me accept it. So this is the website for Bank of Ghana. Okay, so all the content that you see over here is made up of HTML, which is hypertext markup language, and other programming language. Okay, so all the content that you see here, they are made up of the hypertext markup language. Okay, so markup language or hypertext markup language is a standard language that we use for writing web pages, or used to write or design websites. Okay, they are powerful language that we use to design websites. So that is what we're going to do in this. We are going to learn how to start typing that. Now, to begin with writing hypertext or HTML, we need to begin with some tasks, okay, or some conventional ways of writing content in HTML. Okay, so to begin writing that, what you have to do is to start with your less than sign. Okay, so your less than sign, then exclamation mark, then you type this dot type. Okay, dot type. I'll give you, so dot type, then HTML, then you close it with greater than sign. This dot type means a document declaration. Okay, this you are telling the browser that this is HTML file and you should read it as such. Any content that is being found inside that should be read as HTML. Okay, so this document type HTML is a document declaration. This is just meant for the browser. It's not going to show on the page. It's for the browser usage. Okay, just telling the browser that this type of document is HTML and you should read it as such. Okay, so for you to write your first HTML file, you need to start with this. you start with your less than sign, exclamation mark, then doc type HTML. I believe you are good to go. Now when you finish, you just begin with this tag, open tag for HTML. So you start with less than sign HTML, then you close it. This is an open tag. When you say a tag in HTML, we're talking about like a building block, okay, that hosts the content for your website. Okay, it hosts the content. When I say the content, so let's go back to the Bank of Ghana website. This is the content that you see. Okay, all the things that you see, they are all content. Okay, all the things that you see, they are all content. So the tags in HTML helps you to hold your content, and it's even describe what type of content it is. Okay, you will get to that, but for now try to understand it to be like a building block that hold your content. Okay, now this is the open tag. This is how to write an open tag. What you have to do is to come here, leave a space like this, then we close it. Okay, so we open this one. If you want to close a tag, after the less than sign, then you bring your /. Okay, then you write the name of the tag. So this one is HTML. You close it nicely. So we've closed this open tag. This is the open tag, and this is the closing tag for this. Now all the content is supposed to be inside this HTML tag. Okay, anything that will come outside this tag is going to be read as an error. So in your HTML file, all your content is supposed to be within this particular tag. So we have this open tag for the HTML, and this is the closing tag. So closing tag, we have the less than sign, then you bring your /, then you write the name of the tag, which is the HTML for this, then you bring your greater than sign. So this is an open tag, and this is a closing tag, and all the content that we need to have is supposed to be inside this tags. Okay, so if you look at this, the original demo that we want to design, this is the heading that we want. What we are doing is for this particular heading. Okay, this header. Okay, so this is the header that we are creating. Whatever that we are doing there is for this particular header. Okay, so the header has a title or heading, then a menu. So that's what we are doing. So you don't get confused. So all the content is supposed to be inside this HTML. Now after writing this, you need to have a body, okay, where all your content will be inside. Okay, so the body or the content inside the body is going to show on the browser. Okay, now if I open the Bank of Ghana, what you see here, you see on the browser, okay, is inside the body tag. Okay, it's going to show on the screen. If you visit that site or if you open that file, what you see on the screen is inside the body. So the body is going to contain all your elements inside that HTML. So we're going to have a body tag. So we start the open tag, which is body, then you close it. Now we need to close the body tag too. So the body tag, we close it, we bring /, then we write our body, then we close it. Okay, so now that we have the body, any element that will come inside this body tag is going to show on the screen, or is going to show on the browser. Okay, so this heading that you see, this new academic aid that you see, is inside a body tag. Okay, is inside the body tag. So that is how to write or begin with your HTML file. Okay, now as you are writing it, you need to be saving it, because the power can go off at any time, or your machine can shut down, anything can happen to it. So just Control S will save whatever that you type inside that Notepad++. Okay, so Control S will save everything for you. So now we are going to begin with the actual element that needs to be inside the body tag. Okay, so we have our body tag, and we're going to have the element inside that. Now inside the body tag, we're going to have a header. Okay, we're going to have a header. As I said, this is the heading, so it should be inside a tag known as, so we are going to name that tag as what? A header. That header is going to hold this particular heading. Okay, so as I said, a tag contains all your elements in the HTML. So for us to have that, what we have to do, we're going to open our header tag. We're going to open our header tag. Okay, we're going to open it. So we open it and write our header. Then inside that, we're going to have heading 1. Okay, so heading 1 in HTML. So we're going to use H1. H1 stands for the header 1 or heading 1, which is the biggest heading in HTML. Okay, it's going to be bold, going to be big like this. So you're going to see something like this, very big. So we're going to use H1 as header 1. Then the content will be inside that tag. So as I said, the tag is used to hold the content of your website. So this the heading tag, and this is the open tag for the heading 1. Okay, so the heading is what? New Academy. So we're going to write it over there. So write new Academy, right? So we have New Academy. If you don't understand it, then leave them in the comment section for me. Okay, I will be glad to attend to you. So we are done with this heading, so we need to close the tag. As I said, every open tag should have a closing tag. So H1, then we close it. So we are done with the first heading, or we are done with the header for this particular header. Okay, so this is the heading for the header. From here to this side is the header that we are creating, is the header file that we are creating. And inside that header, we have a heading and we have a menu. So that is what we are designing. So don't get confused. Okay, so we have a header. Now that header, you're going to have a heading, and the heading we need to use H1. H1 stands for the highest heading in HTML. Okay, it's going to be bold. We have up to 6. Okay, so we have H1, H2, up to H6. The H6 is the smallest heading in HTML. Okay, so the H1 will be very bold and big, as you see on the original demo, like this. Okay, so that is what you're going to write now. Now inside that header, the header that we are creating, we get some kind of navigation. All you see here, there are menu with navigation. So if I click on this, it will take me to this particular section. If I click on that, it will take me to this particular section. So it's a menu with so many navigation. So you need to add a navigation to our header, and in doing that, we're going to use a div we're gonna have a div. Now when I say div, okay, let me write it. When I'm done, I'll give explanation on that. So we're gonna open our tag and write div. Okay, it stands for div. Then we're gonna give a class a name as we're gonna give a class name as navigation wrapper. Okay, I'll give explanation on that, don't get confused. Let me write it when I'm done. We're gonna name it as navigation wrapper. So that's going to be the name. That's the class name that we are giving to this. So let's hit Control S. So the navigation that we're going to have inside this header is going to be, so this a navigation inside the menu. Okay, so this is what we are trying to achieve at the end of the day. So that navigation, we're going to have a div and give a name, a class name as well, nav or navigation wrapper. Okay, so this is a div with a class name of Ford. So this is the class name. I'll give explanation on what is the meaning of class and the meaning of div in the video, so don't get confused. I just want you to know how we are writing this. So we have our div here, then the div is given a class name of what? Navigation wrapper. So write the C as you see on the screen. Okay, so I'll end the video here. In the next video I'll give you explanation of what is meant by a class, then the meaning of navigation, the meaning of div in HTML. Okay, so in this video what we've done here is we've started with our HTML file. We started declaring the document type, which is HTML. Now, as I said, this is open tag for the HTML, and everything should be inside this HTML. Okay, a tag hold, so as I said, the tag will hold your elements or your content for the website, and you have open tag, and this is the closing tag for the HTML, the closing tag for the HTML. So everything will go inside the HTML tag, and the visible part of your website, as we saw under the Bank of Ghana website, the visible part of it, this what you see on the screen is the visible part of it. That one goes inside the body tag. So we have our body tag, the opening tag for the HTML, the opening tag, and this is the closing tag. Okay, the opening tag should have a closing tag. So this is the opening tag. Now inside that body, as I said, we're going to have a header. Okay, we're going to have a header like this. This is the header. This horizontal line over here is the header I'm talking about. And in that header we have a heading. The heading is the new academy. Okay, so the new academy is going to be inside our header tag. And to have a heading in HTML, you have to begin with H1. If you want to have the bigger heading, you need to use the H1. So the H1 is the biggest heading in HTML. So we have the open tag here, then the content will be inside the tag. Okay, this is the content. Okay, or this is the element, and the element is supposed to be inside the tag. Okay, you have different types of tags. The tag, as I said, is a building block that tells the browser the kind of elements that is inside that file. Okay, so this tag is a heading tag. So the browser will read it as a heading, as a heading 1. Okay, if I change this one to heading 2, you see how small it will turn to. This one is the biggest one. So The tag will tell the browser the kind of elements that is inside our file and how it's going to read it. Okay, so as I said, the tag is just like a building block that holds your elements, and the tag will also help the browser the kind of elements that is inside your file and how it's going to read it. Okay, so that's why we've defined it over here nicely. Then inside the heading or the header, we're going to have a navigation, or we're going to have a menu. In that menu, we're going to have so many navigations. So we need to have a div. They give a class name of nav wrapper or navigation wrapper. So as I said in the upcoming video, I'll be giving an explanation on what is the meaning of div and the meaning of class in HTML. Thank you very much for being with me. If you love what I'm doing, follow my page, share my videos with your friends, comment on them. Okay, if you don't understand anything, so you can leave them in the comment section and I'll be happy to attend to you. See you very soon.